Ah, well, hello there. Well, my name is Lucien von Ronk, and I am... I am not from here, originally, I guess, is the best way to say it. I, I used to be in a entirely different world, so to speak. I was a magic student there, and once upon a time, a long time ago, I had gotten up in the library to go get a new book. I had gone through the process of making sure I had the key to get it, unchain it, and as I got it, there was this bright flash of light, and, well, I ended up here. And I don't know exactly what this place is. I hear tell it's some kind of virtual world. I don't entirely understand what that means. But I got the chance to learn about your world and everything it contains. And I have to say, it's been an amazing journey. Your world has such a fascinating history. And what I hope to do as a VTuber, is that what you call what I am now? Is to explore that world with you and maybe try to teach you a little bit about it. Cause, well, there's a lot to learn, and my journey has only just begun, and I hope that you will all be with me for a long time. But today I am indulging myself a little bit and taking a journey into a fantasy world of your own creation. And, well, it's so cool to see how you guys imagine what magic is like and all that stuff. And, oh, hello there. Hi. Yes, it's so cool to see how you guys imagine what magic is like and all that stuff. It doesn't actually work like that. I'll tell you that now. But, you know, it still feels nostalgic for me to go to a world that pretends to have magic and everything like that. So, today I will be spending some time in the world of Eorzea in the video game Final Fantasy XIV. So let's get going and play some Final Fantasy XIV. Alright then, so I hope that worked and I hope everything is good. Please let me know if I need to play with any of the settings or anything. I'm still quite new at this and I don't entirely know what I'm doing. All these material are quite weird for me. But yes, I've always liked the world of Eorzea. I've thought it's been a very fascinating place. I've almost enjoyed learning about its history as much as I have learning about yours. And, well, as I play, I hope to maybe talk about it a little bit. But, we'll just do a little bit of content today. Just some basic stuff, nothing too fancy. This is just my first stream after all. So let me maybe get started here. Okay. Let's do something nice and easy. Sorry, I just had a couple little things to take care of there. Yeah, so what should I do? I feel like I should do some kind of roulette. That's like the usual thing to do. I've already played through the whole story. Some point maybe I'll do a series where I start over from the beginning and play the story from the beginning along with all you guys, and I can comment about what I've learned on that way. But let's just do a little bit today. Let's start with something. Ooh, Alliance rate is DPS. That's fair. But yeah. Oh wow, I just love being in the Christarium. It does feel so much like home, especially the library here. It feels a lot like home. Oh, hello. But that seems like it'll take a long time. Let's just do something a little simpler first. Normal raids. Let's just queue up for that. What? Why do you want to see my feet? That's very improper. That is very improper. I guess, if that's what you want. 1 second. Let me just make sure that chat is hidden. Oh, I know what to do. I know what to do. There we go. There we go. Oh wait, 1 second. 1 second. I know what to do. You are you happy now? Is this what you wanted to see? This is strange. I'm gonna come back now. I don't like this. I don't know why you want to see such a thing. It's my uniform shouldn't be. I don't get why people think my uniform is weird. It's just a standard uniform. I don't understand why people think it's weird. What? Oi. I am not manipulatable. I am a scholar. I am a student. I have spent many long hours, looking at the world and studying the world, and I am not easily manipulatable. Jeez. The first people here to watch me, and this is what I have to deal with. Is everything all right? Elsewise, is everything all right? Elsewise, the volume is good. Everything's good. I should probably, bring back the screen so that I can actually know what I'm doing when the game starts. Ooh. Oh, the roulette popped. All right, let's see where we're going. Let's see where we're going. I hope this isn't, gonna be a surprise for any of you. Oh, I hit that on accident. It was hiding behind me. Let me bring it up. Oh, this place is cool. I remember this place. I think I do. It was so cool to see kind of this fusion of magic and technology in this place, and I really enjoyed when I got to play this. I don't know what I don't actually entirely remember what I'm supposed to do here. Oh, Australia. I thought Australia was kind of odd, to be honest. It seems so strange that one continent would have such a concentration of, poisonous creatures. But I do have to admit, it is a testament to the survivability of your people that, you're able to live there. In my world, we found a continent like that was inhabited, had so many, poisonous creatures and everything like that, and no one goes there. It's considered like this savage land where no one should go. It's because no one could survive there. It wasn't a wee bit mad. So the fact that people live in Australia is quite astounding to me. It looks so cool doing this, don't I? Oh, a thing. Okay, game audio is a little loud. Let me try and turn that down a little bit. Is this better? Is this better? Is this better now? I turned down the volume a little bit. Ah, I thought I got in. I love the music so much. I just like listening to it. Oh, it's this guy. I remember this guy, kind of, sort of. I don't entirely remember. I know there are, like, you know, traps and stuff I'm supposed to avoid, but, not much beyond that. Let's see if I can do this right. I will say I am not very good at this game. I know what I'm doing, kind of, but not really. Like, I don't know what that actually is. I'm guessing I should stay away from it. Yep, that looked like it was a bad thing. I probably shouldn't have gone it. I probably should have stayed away from that. Oh, someone's dead. But, you know, it's level 60. I can't... what was that? I don't know what that was. What? I don't know what's happening right now. Where'd he go? Oh, it's this part. I remember this part. I remember this part. I know what I'm doing. Alright, good. Audio balance is better. That's good. That's good. Yes, this is kind of my practice stream. In the future, I found that there are a lot of video games that talk about history, and I would, you know, like to play those some, so I can get a chance to talk about, you know, the history of your world with you, because honestly, it's fascinating. Like, I wouldn't have thought that a civilization without magic was possible, but you guys have made such a really interesting world that, without any magic at all, without elves or dwarves or anything else, and it's really cool. And the stories I've learned about your past, there's things I've really enjoyed. So I'm really excited that in the future we'll get to maybe explore some of that together. And occasionally, you know, get to explore some... I guess I was supposed to do something there that I didn't do. That's okay. I'm not dead. But yeah, that's something that I would like to do. And this is just a nice little kind of casual start stream right now. Am I accomplishing anything here? Oh, everyone went here, so I assume I should do that too. Oh, what's magic? Well, it's hard to explain for someone who doesn't, like, know what it is originally. But, you know, well, I will say it doesn't kind of work like this. Like we're sitting here where I just, you know, can cast a spell. Casting spell. Ah! I don't. Ah! Ah! I don't like the chainsaws. The chainsaws scare me. Okay, he's almost dead. But yeah. But the way I was first taught about it when I first went to university to study the magical arts was that it's a way of, like, come back here. I want to stab you. Oh! Okay, so that's okay. I did something dumb, but he's dead anyway, so it's okay. I don't need any of that, so I don't want to get it all stuck in my inventory, so let's leave. But, yeah, magic, the way I was taught about it is that magic is a way of influencing reality through the imposition of your own will. And it's difficult. It's very difficult, and it's very dangerous. That's why, you know, it takes many, many long years of study and practice before you're allowed to properly do magic. But it's kind of fun to see this imagining of what magic is like. I unfortunately can't do it anymore since I came to this world. It's kind of... It was honestly quite scary when I first came here and I realized I didn't have any magical power anymore. But I've gotten used to it, I think. It's been kind of interesting to try to live without it in the virtual world. Sometimes I see people who I've been told are in the... I've been told that I'm in the 2D world, and then there's this 3D world where you people are, and I'm stuck in the 2D world. I don't quite understand, but it's been okay in here. I like it in here. Okay, that was some nice, easy content. Let's Ooh, samurai. I like the samurai. Let's do something else. Let's see. Alright, let's do a trial. Trials are always fun, right? And yes, if anyone has any comments about, you know, audio balancing or anything, yeah, let me know. But while we're waiting, let's go to one of my favorite places here in the Christarium, and I want to talk a little bit about, you know, what I've learned about this place. Where is the... There it is. There it is. There's these doohickeys here that I can use to get around. And, yes, they're very happy. Let me go to one of my favorite places. Yes, here we are. Now this... Oh, okay. I guess we'll have to talk about this a little bit later. Let's see if I actually have to, you know, do battle first. But yes, this place, the library area... I forget what the actual... What is this place actually called? Let me... Yeah, the Cabinet of Curiosity. That... It's really nostalgic for me. It reminds me a lot of the library where I used to study. I actually don't know what this place is. Oh, it's this. Oh, okay. Okay, I know what this is. I remember this. And yes, I am a strong believer that, you know, playing dress up is endgame. So, oh wow, that is something I wasn't expecting to see. Okay. That is very cool, I suppose. Yeah, liking books is a good thing. Books have so much interesting stuff written in them, and you learn so much reading them. Yes, hopefully it shouldn't shatter. Yeah, I've noticed that there's this really interesting thing that while your fantasy, the idea you guys have a fantasy, it's so based in your world and what you think, and there's kind of like these stereotypes that follow around. And it's been really interesting to see like how they manifest. Oh. Crap. That was a mistake on my part. I should have known better. Man. Ow. Where did she go? Oh, right, have to get over here. I know what I'm doing. I absolutely know what I'm doing. But yes, like this job here, this samurai job, it's obviously based on something that exists in your reality. This those warriors from Japan, but they weren't like this at all. But yeah, we kind of have in my world where we used to come from, we had something kind of similar, like these members of a warrior class, I guess you could call it. But ooh, the Demiurge. Now that's an interesting title. I remember there's something I'm supposed to do here. Like I'm supposed to kill one of them first and one of them last. But But I actually don't know what the order is, and I don't think it matters anymore. Oh yeah, the scales. I remember this. This is a cool thing.
I would know the weight of your souls.
Ow. Okay. Okay, I remember this.
Can you bring equilibrium?
Alright, so we're gonna go twist that way.
I shall tip back the balance.
Okay. Yes, I had to stop. I had to focus a little bit there. But yeah, I'll talk a little bit more about, you know, what I've learned about kind of how you apply. I actually don't know what this is. I don't know what this does. Okay, okay. We're doing well. We're doing well here. Is the volume alright, or is the fighting still too loud? I know it can be very kind of bad when, you know, all the stuff happens at once and, you know, ow. Thankfully, my sword is apparently unbreakable, and I can just do all this stuff. I can just, you know, slice this giant bone, and nothing happens, and it doesn't break. And that's really helpful. Okay, she's gonna go there. I want to be here. Haha! That was cool. I can get it. This is worth it. Will be worth it. Haha! I killed it. I killed it. It's kind of weird to me, the idea that I'm supposed to be, like, killing a god here. It seems so anti-ethical to, you know, everything. Gods shouldn't be able to die. That's kind of what makes them gods. Doesn't it? Or do you guys have, like, a different idea of what a god is? Because gods in my world have a very, have a different thing. Oh, hello! Yay, hello there! But yes, this is... I actually really like this area and this part of the story. So, for those of you who don't know, oh, I'm sorry, I will try not to give you all motion sickness by spinning my camera everywhere. And I will put on the appropriate outfit for this part of the world. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, in this universe, in this particular part of the world, there was this big catastrophe which swallowed up most of the world and left it all destroyed. And so this place is supposed to be the repository of all the books they've been able to find and able to recover. And that just really spoke to me on a very, you know, on a very personal level. Oh wow, there's so many of you now. I'm very, very grateful. I was not expecting this many people to want to watch what my streaming here. I promise I will do. I know that I say that I have a very strong interest in your world's history, and I promise I will do more content related to that in the future. But for now, I kind of wanted to do something a little simple and just, ooh, what's this? Do something a little simple and just have a little fantasy world and play something nice and easy to make sure that everything I knew was working. So, what was I? Where was I? Oh yeah, so in this world, a lot was destroyed, and this is kind of the combined knowledge that was left. And I know that in your world you're kind of used to books being this thing you're able to very, very easily get your hands on and learn about, and especially with this internet thing I've been hearing about, just that all the knowledge is just out there for you to peruse at the click of a button. But where I came from, it was very different. Books were very, very precious things. Like, they were chained to the walls. You had to request permission to get the key to get the book off the chain, and then you could check it out, and then even when you were reading it, there was a charm placed on the book, so if you took it out of the library, you would catch on fire, or something like that. And yeah, so it's so weird to me to think that people can just, you know, go to a page and see all the information that might be, that for me was, you know, almost a lifetime's of work to get to see. And so this place just made me feel really nostalgic for that, just seeing, you know, all these books in a world where it's kind of, where books are rare and difficult to come by, and then just the spirit of this guy, Morin. He is such a sweetheart. And his efforts to kind of track knowledge as best he can and gather it all together, it really spoke to me, and that's something I would like to try to do with my channel, is that I would like to gather knowledge and try to share it, and find a way to share it. I've got lots of ideas for future things I can talk about. I think I've already mentioned I want to maybe stream some video games that talk a little bit more about your world's history. There's some parts of it that I've gotten very interested in that I would love to talk about some. I've got some ideas for maybe doing, I don't know if people would be interested in this, but like doing a lecture series, maybe? I have some topics that I would like to maybe try to teach about, if people would be interested in that. And yeah. Oh, wow, there are... It's so nice to see chat actually active, and you guys are interested in this. Oh, it makes me... It really, really makes me happy to see all this. I'm still very nervous. I'm quite nervous about all of this, but seeing you guys around makes me very happy. Yay! Okay. Paradox games are something that I'm definitely thinking about playing. I quite like them. I have a lot to talk about with them for sure. Their attempts at I like how they try to be accurate, but there's still so many things I could talk about there. So Paradox games are definitely along the list. Age of Empire, AoE. I think that's Age of Empires. Sorry, I was in the FF14 head for a little bit, so I saw AoE and I thought you meant Area of Effect. I'm like, what? You can't play an Area of Effect. You get out of Area of Effects. But hey, now I think about it, you obviously beat Age of Empires, and yeah, I might want to try that out. I haven't played that. I don't think I've played that before, so that'll be something new. Okay. So, I don't know. Would you guys like to see me maybe just walk around some and talk about the world of Eorzea a little bit? Or would you like to see me do some more, like, fighting content? What do you guys like? Okay. Well, let's see. All kinds of weird technical stuff coming up. Let's do a little bit more talky? Okay, I can definitely do that. Yeah, let's go, okay, more talky stuff. Now, what's there to talk? What should I talk about? One of the things I would like to do maybe in the future is, walkie-talkie tour. Okay, yeah, let's do that. We can do a tour, let's do a tour. We can start here in the Christarium. One of these days what I would like to do maybe is I'd like to do a whole thing where we start and play the entirety of Final Fantasy XIV, and I can talk a lot about, you know, the world and how we got here and how it goes, and it'll be a bit easier to kind of explain, just because, you know, I will be, you know, since I will be, you know, actually playing it and experiencing it, I can remark on the story. So, yeah, so that's something that I would like to do. But, yeah, walkie-talkie tour sounds really nice. So, like I said, this is the Christarium, which is one of the few cities in a world that had been consumed by a terrible disaster. And oh, I'm so sorry. I keep spinning the camera around, and I am worried I am going to give someone, motion sickness by doing this. I will stop. I am taking my hands off the thing so that I will no longer be spinning the camera around, like a mad person. Oh, okay. So, oh, where to start? There's so much to talk about. I don't even know where to begin. Um, Especially here, because if I talk about too much, that's spoilers for people who haven't played the game, and it's a very good game. I would definitely recommend people play it. I think I know where to start. We'll go back to where I first started. 1 second, as I teleport us there. Such a handy spell. I wish I had a spell like this back in my world. It would have made, traveling around, trying to gather books and that kind of thing so much easier if I could just snap my fingers and be on another planet. But no, I had to charter ships, learn how to ride a Pegasus that didn't like me very much, almost fall to my death a few times. It was not fun. I really wish I could have just snapped my fingers and teleported. Some of my professors knew how to do that, but they told me it was a very, very difficult spell, and they wouldn't teach me. So, this is the city of Ul'dah, where I started, and where, and actually in Eorzea, which is where the majority of Final Fantasy XIV takes place. As you can see, its architecture, it's very much inspired by what I think you would call Arabic world architecture, desert world architecture. It's an interesting combination. It's ruled by a sultana, which makes me think that it's kind of drawing on a lot of Arabic inspirations, but much of the story here is focused on, I guess you'd call it the influence of money on politics and the domination of governance of the city by the wealthy. Let's see. I know where to go. I need the map to get around. I don't walk around here a lot, so I get lost. I know where to go. Actually, I will just walk around here, so that I can kind of, walk and talk without having to, be bouncing around too much. So, Ul'dah is where I started my adventure in Final Fantasy XIV. The story here had focused, very much on the... Oh yes, it's a summer holiday season here, so there's nice music. And yes, what everyone knows FF14 for, the dancing cat girls. No one saw that. So, oh wow, it's so hard to know where to start. There's so much history and lore about this place that I don't even know where to kind of start talking about it. I guess I'll just kind of play through it consecutively and what the story about here. So, the story here was so much about how to rule a city well and how to deal with with people who have power in a city, but are more interested in their own ends and their own securing their own wealth than any kind of common good, and trying to get through that. Like, for a long time, some of the main obstacles we had to our goals of saving the world were the fact that it would cost people money to do so. I love the NPC dialogue here. It makes the world feel so alive. Let's see, where am I? Goldsmith's Guild. I want to go up. Yes. Yeah. So I'll just kind of take you to the center of the city where the decision making happens. And I will put on my I started this game as a thaumaturge, as a black mage, so I will wear that outfit while I'm here. Yeah. So these people here are paladins, or they call them the Sultana's own. As I said, this city is ruled by a Sultana, which is where I think a lot of those Arabic influences to its design and everything came from. But the story is, I feel like it's not so much about what you would usually expect with those kinds of things. It's about, like I said, money and politics and people who are more interested in their own gain than the greater good, and how you get around that. Yeah. Oh yes, there's my I play Paladin as well, so there's my lead Paladin guy. The Paladin quest line was, let me just change the Paladin and talk to him. Yes. A true Paladin is he one who bends his knee to a higher cause, not for the shortest without promise of war. Yeah, it's very interesting. The Paladin quest line here was very much about being someone with ideals in a city ruled by, self self-enrichment, I guess. And it was kind of interesting seeing the conflict of that, the conflict of ideals versus personal wealth and those kinds of things. There's just so much to kind of talk about. I kind of lose track of what I should be doing. Uh, oh look, a new paladin still learning the ropes. I remember when I was in that gear. Good luck. Good luck, Electric. But yes. Yeah. I always have a soft spot for Ul'dah, just because it's where I started my journey in Final Fantasy XIV, and plus it just makes, even when I was young and I was in that other world, many of the heroes I read about, like what I think the equivalent for you lot would be, you know, your fictional characters. They were like these adventurers who went on fantastic journeys and saw and did so many exciting things. And that's what first drove me to books. And, you know, with that, first-hand account, I think that's where I started my journey of wanting to learn magic and everything. Um, that 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 person looks a lot like me, and how did I realize it? Like, look at my face, and I don't know. She looked a lot like me. It was kind of surprising to see that all of a sudden. Oh man. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yes. Yeah. This maybe. Hmm. One day I will do. What I will do one day is I will like start over from the beginning in Final Fantasy XIV, and then I can talk about everything as it happens. So I'm not sitting here now just babbling about while I struggle to put together what I'm supposed to talk about, just because I'm thinking about all these things that are happening, and struggling to think where to start. Maybe that's why I never got a teaching position. I don't know how to narrow things down. Uh, Chat, do you have any ideas of like maybe something you'd want to ask about that I can focus on? That might help me narrow my thoughts a little bit. Maybe. Sort of. Hmm. I don't actually know entirely how to interpret all this data I'm seeing. I see a lot of, yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's see, what else was I going to do today? I was going to do some things today. Um, how long have I been How long have I been here? Okay, about 40 minutes. I can do a little bit more. Um, yeah, let's queue up for a little bit of something that might. Let's queue up for something maybe, and that will perhaps help me kind of narrow my thoughts a little bit to talk about. It will give me, some kind of impetus on something to focus on. Oh, this place. part of the reason why it's difficult for me to do the walkie-talkie tour is that every time I see things, I'm reminded of, oh, thank you for watching. Good night. Good night. Sleep well. Don't. There was a phrase I learned. What was that phrase? Oh, don't let the bed bugs bite. I heard that phrase. That was something I'm supposed to say to people. I don't know entirely what it means, but if you have bugs that live in your bed, that's probably a bad thing, I think. But yes, thank you for watching. And I hope to see you again. Okay, but yes, what was I saying? Oh yes, part of the reason why it's so difficult for me to do the walkie-talkie tour is that I come to places like this. This is the seat of government here in Ul'dah, and it reminds me of so many things that happened in the story that I want to talk about, but I realize that without, with people who don't necessarily know what's happened, I'll just be babbling, much like I am right now. I know, I'm sorry. I'll be babbling, and not only that, but I'll be making mistakes and talking about parts of the story that haven't happened in order. But yes, let's just say that a lot of significant details happened here. So, so what I think I will do, this is going to be my first Final Fantasy stream. In my second stream, what I will do is they have this thing where I can replay the entire story from scratch, but I don't have to, make a new character or anything. I can still have my cool outfits that I really, really like, and I don't have to, be trying to level up and all that fun stuff. I can just kind of go back and be who I was supposed to be and have all my stuff. And I will try to make sure I am, dressed appropriately. And I will just play through the story, and I will talk about it there, and I feel like that might give me a little bit more to talk about, and be a little bit more focused than how I am right now, where I'm just kind of babbling about, random things that probably mean nothing to people who aren't familiar with this place already. But walkie-talkie, yeah, I would be a horrible tour guide. I'm realizing now. People wouldn't tip me. Can I jump down from here? Ooh, I can! That hurt a little bit. But you know what? Yeah, I won't start it now because I would like it to maybe be a good start of a series, I think. This is just kind of my, test run, see how everything's going. But okay. Thank you for watching as well. Good night. Oh, I love the NPC dialogue here. Sorry, you can't become a cat girl. Our tails are pre-attached. You don't get to get one. Yeah, I think what I was talking about earlier, that would be a good idea for organizing a more, a kind of more history-focused version of this. Right now, I'm just kind of wandering around and babbling. But I will hopefully, this is still, my first time talking to people in the 3D world from the 2D one. So I guess it makes sense that I'm a little nervous and kind of not too sure what's going on. Ooh, that's a cool outfit. Yes, I do just love how this place makes it feel like, it almost just feels like a natural home to be an adventurer, to get to, do things and go out into the world and fight villains and all that great stuff. And that I think is universal. Like, when I was in another world before I came here, we had those stories too. I think I talked about this a little already, but of course they were a little more real. I think someone mentioned earlier about that place you guys call Australia, and I was talking about how it was while we have places like that in my world, it's kind of like these super dangerous places that no one would ever willing to go to. And well, there were always these tales of the adventurers who went there and sought things out and explored the world there. And those were just kind of stories that really inspired me. And being here, it just feels the same way. I know it's not very, like, it's not very, shall we say, academic of me to be thinking that way. But it's kind of, you know, it's kind of, it's a feeling. Not everything has to be accurate. Yeah, first stream, I'm sure I will. This is more just, you know, a test run to make sure that I have everything working and to be a proper thing. I hope to do, like, a full video, which is just a proper introduction to myself at some point. And, yeah, and we can come back here. Alright, so let's see what else there is to do. Besides just, you know, bask in the ambience of the world. Let's see. Oh, that's not what I want to do. Let's pull up the world map. Actually, this should have been how I started. Is talking about... Yeah. This should have been how I started. Is just talking about, you know, the world at large. Phoenixes. Phoenixes. Now, I don't know. I have heard of phoenixes. They're supposed to be legendary creatures that are very, very hard to, you know, kind of find. I don't think there were any in the kind of that death continent place where I was talking about. But I have heard stories about them, and that they would grant wishes. But, you know, I just realized somewhere where I could have started with the whole walkie-talkie tour, and that is, of course, my favorite place, a map. Maps are amazing. I love looking at maps. And when I play Paradox games, I hope you will all also enjoy staring at maps. But yes, so this is the land of Eorzea, a fantasy world, the fantasy place for you. And there are, let's just kind of talk a little bit about some of the key locations here. It's, wait a second, there's a larger version of this map, isn't there? I want to go to the largest, I want to go to the, oh, there it is, that's what I want. I want the largest map. I don't think I can get any larger than this. I have to limit myself to continental scale. Okay, but that's okay. So, Eorzea. It is a continent that is located on the southern edge of a bigger continent, and it's kind of got a, and here are some of the, and this kind of gives you an idea for how things are. It's dominated by a selection of city-states, although really they are, calling them city-states is kind of questionable. They seem to, yes, maps. I'm glad chat likes maps as much as I do. Maps. Okay. So, yes, there are several city-states on here. As you can kind of see, there is this huge mountain range, the Appalachian Spine Mountains, that kind of divide most of the continent. And most of the population lives kind of here. You can tell that there is the river systems here, and you have the city-state of Gridania in the forests that grow up here. Over here, you have the city-state of Limsa Laminsa, which is located on the island of Lunoskia, which is, of course, a naval power and a very heavily focused on trade. And I wish we had a bigger map so I could kind of show you how the global trade networks link, because the city of Ul'dah, down here where we are now, is also very focused on trade. And that's why it is so focused on wealth and power. They are all the city-states of Eorzea are very, very different. So you have Ul'dah here, located in the southern deserts of Thanalan. And, of course, it kind of makes sense that without a lot of arable land to grow food, they kind of had to focus on trade so that they could find food to import and find other ways for the city to prosper. And given its location here, on kind of the southern end of the... Oh, excuse me. My throat. And yeah, given its location here, it kind of became a bit of a waypoint for trade from the eastern oceans into the continent itself. And given that kind of the most important thing wasn't necessarily how much land you owned or anything else, because the land is desert, it was much more focused on who controlled the trade routes and who got the most money from those trade routes. Now over here in Limsa, I kind of talked about how they were very more seafaring, but that's kind of very old. Very old. The founders of the city were a group of pirates who washed up on the beach there and had to forge a city. So for a long time, there was a lot of tension between Limsa and all the other city-states of Eorzea because Limsans kept pirating their ships, and because they were the great sea power, no one could get back at them. Simultaneously over here, you have the city-state of Gridania in the Great Black Shroud Forest. Now, you would think that a city-state here in the forest would probably clear out a lot of the forest, but apparently the way magic works in here is that they had to make a deal with some kind of what they call the elementals, which are kind of like these spiritual things that tell them what they can and can't do. So rather than carving out a hole for the city, they have to kind of live in harmony with nature, I guess is the word. But that kind of cuts both ways, I guess. Because they have to do what the forest spirits tell them to do, they both, get to rip the bounty of the forest, but also the forest spirits don't always have a sense of morality that we would understand. And so they will often do things like, say, let a child die of an illness they could have prevented because that's what the spirit said. So, really think about it, all the cities in Eorzea are kind of messed up in one way or another. It's just kind of a difference about how they're messed up. So, the city of Alamigo over here, it's in kind of a rough terrain area, and they are very much kind of a militarist city. And they were always, but for much of the story of Final Fantasy XIV, they are occupied by, well, a group we haven't talked about a lot, which is the Garlean Empire. Let me see if... no, that's not what I want to do. I want to see... Ooh. Oh, is that what can I get there? Okay, this is not where I want to be. Let me go back over here. Yes, that's where I want to be. Sorry about that. We'll talk about, those other maps I saw later. God, why didn't I think of maps earlier? Jesus. Oh, wow, I'm really getting affected here. That's a turn of phrase I picked up from, watching you guys and learning about you all. It's really interesting, actually. That figure, such a figure of religious importance kind of has become just a catchphrase for frustration. One of these days I'll have to look into that, how it got from, a very important religious figure to just something people say when they want to express surprise or anything like that. But okay, so let's kind of keep talking about the different cities of Eorzea. Up here you have the city of Ishgard, which was actually talking about religion. It was a very religious state for much of the story of Final Fantasy XIV. They were isolationists because they were engaged in a very, very long war with dragons. I know, it sounds so cool, right? Fighting wars with dragons. It seems really weird to me because where I come from, dragons are both very rare and very powerful. So if you try to fight a war with dragons, they would probably just burn your entire kingdom to ashes and leave nobody alive. You can't really fight dragons. Oh, thank you. Thank you for watching. Oh, enjoy your Dungeons & Dragons game. I also been interested in that. One of these days I would like to maybe do a stream about that. That'd be something fun, wouldn't it? Dungeons & Dragons. Playing a person from what you would call a fantasy world, pretending to be in another fantasy world. It's kind of like this mixed layer of everything. But, yes, where was I? Oh yes, Ishgard. And its war with dragons. Yeah, I won't talk about too much because when we do our streams where I just play through the entire story of Final Fantasy XIV, we'll get to explore that a little bit more. But yeah, I do like looking at the map, just kind of talking about all the different parts, and kind of... It's weird kind of trying to analyze it from a geographical point of view because there's all this stuff about how their magic system works that have to be factored in. Like, look at this. It's a mountain that's Floating. That's... How do you talk about that? How does that work? But, alright then. Okay. So, we're coming up on about an hour, and I think that this is maybe a good point to stop. So thank you all so much for coming to watch my first stream. I'm really glad that there are so many of you who want to come watch me. I will definitely be doing more in the future, and there are a lot of other games I would like to play and other things I would like to do. So, yeah, thank you so much for coming to see me, and I hope to see all of you again in the future. Bye now, and I will think of a proper, goodbye phrase later. Alright then. Good evening, everyone, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.